voting on this lifting of ban of some of their products. And so then that came at a time when Kenya was lifting that particular ban. So the conversation ongoing was that then why we are lifting this ban so that we can create market for the West. They say that these are foods that you consume. You are mostly used to this in the West. In Kenya and Africa, we don't even have enough capacity for this science and technology. I don't know how you would speak to this particular issue.
I will say this. Do you want to die?
Okay.
Do you want to die?
Not when it's not my time to die.
Okay. You let GMO foods in your country, you're going to have the same cancers, the same sicknesses that we have in the West with all this GMO and chemicals in our food. See, you guys eat much cleaner than we do because you don't have all them chemicals and all the additives and things in your food. I feel so much better when I eat the food here, when I eat the fruits here. When you go back to the West, your stomach start hurting and everything because they put too much trash in the food. So anybody that wants to protect their country, keep GMO out.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Philip Scott is a content creator that is well known with his content across the world. And the name of their channel is African Diaspora News Channel. And when he visited Kenya, he had an interview at KBC, at K24 and other media houses. And when I watched the video that I have already played, it was a true indication that, ladies and gentlemen, Philip Scott is understanding whatever he is saying. When you look at the reason why he is warning Kenyans not to accept this issue of GMO, he has explained well. He has identified the reason why we should not accept GMO in Kenya. But literally, when you look at the way our leaders are behaving, it is as if the GMO is going to change the narrative of people suffering because of drought or because of hunger. But the truth is, Philip Scott has come out to warn Kenyans that if you want to die, consume GMO. If you want to have these controversial diseases, then consume GMO. And he has said very well. Then when you look at him, for example, when he visits Africa, he is comfortable eating food from Africa. But at that moment, he is returning back to the West. He is afraid of eating food everywhere. Because when you compare food in Africa, a bigger percentage of them are naturally food. But when you go to West, it is true indication that they always eat food that is, for example, organically modified food. They are not naturally. And he has said that when you look at the way West are suffering because of these diseases, is not the same Africans are suffering from these diseases. Recently, they have been suffering so much because of these so-called diseases that it has been identified that is being caused by this organism modified food. And that is why when you look across the Africa, you will find that several countries are suffering because of this organically modified food that they are consuming without knowing whatever they are consuming. And that is why with the statement of Philip Scott is that it is better to eat natural food than eating things that are organically modified organism. And this is literally something, it is like an opener to our eyes that we must very carefully watch this issue of GMO, or else we are going to be victims. And again, he has come out to tell us, if we don't want to fall in the trap of this organically modified food, we must not accept GMO in our country. or else we must be ready then to be affected or to have these so-called diseases like cancer. Yes, you find, for example, body is having problem of blood clotting all over the body because of these chemicals that are being used to produce this modified organism food. And literally, I want to support it. Even you can compare, for example, in several towns in Africa, several towns, you will find that in rural areas, some people are not easily attracted to these diseases. For example, let us go to Kenya. Kenya, you find that these big cities like Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, big cities, it is likely that those who are living there are likely to attract diseases like cancer, like for example, body having blood clotting, and several diseases. But when you look someone that is living in rural areas, like for example Nyeri, like for example in Turkana, like for example in Kiambu, Mumias, those sides, you will find that these people are healthy because, for example, they eat food that 100% sure is coming from the farm. For example, like tomato, you find that in rural areas, they usually use these tomatoes that are smaller in size. But in bigger towns, you find someone when he wants to buy a tomato, he wants that big one. And that big one is organically modified tomato. And that is why we are being affected. But on the other side, in rural areas, you will find them eating those small tomatoes. Small tomatoes. For example, pawpaw. Yes? Like oranges. There are some oranges that are coming from rural areas that are small in size but are healthy to the body. But you look at these bigger towns, you find an orange, bigger one, like watermelon. That is not the way we are being advised. It is better we eat natural foods than this organically modified food, because we are being affected with this issue of diseases like cancer. And cancer is having a high percentage to attach to you after eating these not natural foods. So we as Kenyans, we are being warned that if we want to die early or if we want to die, consume GMO food. If you want to die, consume GMO food. And if you don't want to die, then eat and consume natural food. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your opinion? Give your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much. Please consider liking this video. Bye bye.